Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of the team that cannot stop winning in the Bay Area. And RIP to the tank. Noah Gregor scores a hat trick, and the Barracuda playoffs are on life support. So, all that and more on today's episode of Locked on Sharks.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked on Sharks your first listen. Subscribe or follow for free wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. That way, you know whenever the latest episode comes out. We're part of the Locked On Network, where we cover your team every day. And we're back to recap a weekend of hockey that happened in San Jose. Plenty to talk about. We had call-ups. Daniel Gushchin made his NHL debut. Of course, Noah Gregor, hat trick. What a world we live in. Erik Karlsson, another casual 4-point night. But, of course, we have to start with RIP to the tank, as the Sharks have now won 3 games in a row. I'm recording this Sunday afternoon as Columbus is playing, but the Sharks are now 3 points behind Anaheim. Anaheim plays tonight, so if they win tonight, this is subject to change. And now 5 points behind Columbus and Chicago in the tank. So Sharks do have a tough schedule down the stretch with 2 games against the Avs, 2 games against Edmonton, and then a game against Winnipeg and Calgary. Both teams are going to be fighting for their playoff lives at that point. But these 3-game win streak might put the dagger in the Sharks having the top odds going into the draft lottery. So we're going to have to now focus on hoping to move up. The worst case is you want to at least finish. You want to finish ahead of Anaheim because that puts you in the 3 slot going in, and then at least that gives you the Karlsson-Michkov debate that you can have, which will be plenty of fun, right? So need Anaheim to start winning some games here. Let's go, Anaheim. Just as a reminder, so their strength of schedule going down the stretch here. So, like I said, they play tonight. They do have games against LA. They have a game against Edmonton, a game against Colorado, and then a game against Arizona, who looked terrible. Vancouver, who's played a little bit better. So you're gonna need some points from, even if it's get some overtime, just get to overtime, get those precious loser points for Edmonton or for Anaheim heading down the stretch here. So yes, I think the dream of landing the top spot going into the draft lottery. Now we just need to pray to the hockey gods. The Sharks can jump up in the lottery, jump up to the 1 or 2 spot and get yourself Bedard or Fantilli. So that's the hope. But anyway, so but you have to at least transition out of that. You have to at least feel good that the Sharks have been winning because of the younger players, right? Daniel Gushchin scored in his first game. Bordelot has made an impact. Henry Thrun has looked great as well. Like, it isn't just the veterans who are kind of dragging this team. Yes, Erik Karlsson has been doing Erik Karlsson things. Logan Couture sneakily had one of his best seasons as of memory. We'll get into that in the offseason, but it's a lot of these young guys kind of, Jacob Peterson scored his first goal in the Arizona game. Like, it's a lot of these young guys that are going to be building blocks for the future, contributing now. So that makes you feel like the future is going to be bright for San Jose. And yes, getting a Bedard or getting Fantilli is going to help that future be bright. But you got to feel really good about what the Sharks have already started to put together, and these guys are starting to make an impact. William Eklund in his 8 games that he was up before he tore his before he got sent down and then tore his labrum. Really quick aside on that. So yes, Eklund done for the season. If you missed the news on Friday, torn labrum, had surgery, had successful surgery, is expected to be back for training camp. I would not expect him in the rookie tournament or any of that stuff. Maybe he's around, kind of working it out, trying to rehab, but he's doing well. Chatted with him the other day, after the surgery, doing well, feeling pretty good about things, feeling optimistic. So he's going to be heading home to Sweden here soon just so he can focus on his rehab. But he's been, it's tough to see. I think he hurt his shoulder actually early in November and actually or sometime in November was actually playing most of the season with the hurt shoulder. So this was more of they could have rehabbed it, but they wanted to make sure that it's a fully fixed, don't want it to be a lingering issue type of thing. So I think they took the smart route, kind of take a step back now. That way you can take several steps forward. So I think I have no worry about Eklund kind of not being able to bounce back from this. So quick aside on Eklund. So, but again, a lot of these other guys who are going to be kind of key pieces for the Sharks starting to make an impact. We'll talk about Tristen Robins here at the end of the show. But Gushin, who's had a great season in the AHL, you see that shot, that snipe, that's so tantalizing, absolute gorgeous goal that he scored on Saturday. Henry Thrun just looks like a competent NHL defenseman, and he's played 2 games. And I know, there's going to be some bad moments coming at some point, but you have to be excited about the Sharks. Again, they're finding pieces who are going to be part of the future. I think Bordelot said it would be a part of the solution for what the Sharks are when the next Sharks team is good. So before we kind of dive into this game some more, look at the analytics of the game, talk about Noah Gregor finally. Noah Gregor, you're going to make this a very difficult offseason. Anyway, before we do all that, do want to take a quick break, talk to you guys about our new friends over at eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. With over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. So get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. All right. Noah Gregor. Hat trick for Noah Gregor. Some great goals. I know this Arizona team is they've been playing better as of recently, but this team is definitely not a world beater in any way, shape, or form. But Noah Gregor, who's been much maligned, especially on this podcast as well. You got to feel good for a guy like Noah Gregor getting that hat trick, and just, how many times has he hit the post or just missed, or all the stuff that's gone on with Gregor. Like, you see, that's what makes him such a frustrating player, right? Is you see the pieces are there. You see yes, he can skate, right? He's very fast. He's worked on all the things to make him an NHL player, but has just had the worst possible luck when it comes to scoring goals. And I'm sure that felt great just to kind of get that monkey off his back of yes, I can actually score goals. And, he's really had a good stretch of play down here as the season's wound down. So Sharks have a big, interesting decision with him. I was very much I don't think he's coming back, even though he is an RFA, Yeah, he is a RFA this offseason. So arbitration. Again, he makes $950,000. I would expect if the Sharks do want to bring him back, it's probably going to be, you could probably just pencil in like a million, maybe a little over $1 million. Give him like the Steven Lorentz contract type of thing, that $1.25 million, something like that. Or Lorentz is at $1,050,000. So it's not going to be super expensive to keep him. If they want to keep him, we'll see. They're going to be an interesting decision what to do there. So, yeah, Noah Gregor, good for you. And some other guys you have to feel happy for. I mean, I know, winning 7-2 against the Coyotes, like it probably felt really good for this team to kind of a lot of the frustrations that they felt. And, this team hasn't kind of laid down and just kind of given up. This team's been in most games and fought their way through most games. And with better goaltending and better luck, this team could probably be more in the middle, kind of creamy middle type of team. I don't know if they're a playoff team, but they just had a lot of bad luck this season, and maybe that turns around next year. And we're talking about how this team has, just missed the playoffs because of X, Y, or Z type of thing this time next year. But seeing guys like Kyle Criscuolo, 30 years old, finally scoring his first NHL game, like just the happiness on it, like enjoy those moments. These guys have put in the work and put in the effort and have worked hard all season. There, of course, we as Sharks fans want them to have the best possible lottery spot, but these guys have worked their whole lives to be here. And Kyle Criscuolo, again, like he's not going to be part of the Sharks' future. Maybe, I think he could come back and continue to play in the AHL in the Barracuda. He's been a great find for the Barracuda team, being one of those veteran leaders for them, kind of showing the younger guys the way. Like everyone says, he's a great guy. You have to feel really happy for this guy who's worked his entire life and to finally get that sweet moment and it was a beautiful goal, right? The steal, just no chance. Like, I had no chance on that. Beautiful goal from Criscuolo. Just feel happy for these guys who worked for this long. Daniel Gushin coming in, scoring that absolute snipe type of goal. So Gushin's going to score so many goals for the Sharks. Anyway, and Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson needs 5 points, guys. 5 points in his last 6 games to get to 100. He had that 4-point night that we needed from him to kind of help catch up. Corey from The Athletic had put out a great stat, if you didn't see it on Twitter. 21 times this season, a defenseman has scored 4 points or more. 16 guys have done it once. Erik Karlsson has done it 5 times this year. Erik Karlsson is going to win the Norris Trophy, especially if he gets to 100. That's what we're rooting for right now. Erik Karlsson get to 100 points, lock down that Norris Trophy, become the first defenseman since Brian Leetch in 91-92. That's what we're rooting for. Erik Karlsson's going to do it. So, all right, let's get into the numbers of this game. So, numbers are a little warped because there was a lot of power play time. The Sharks had 7 power play opportunities, and the power play looked really, really good. Again, Erik Karlsson kind of doing Erik Karlsson things. But so the 5-on-5 numbers are really warped because the Sharks had so much power play time. And then in the third period, the Coyotes really kind of took it to the Sharks to try to play catch up. At that point, though, it was a little, it was 4-1. They had that goal that was scored, but then it was to make it 4-2. But then David Quinn challenged it. Quinn really good at just challenges. He's 7 of 8 this year on his challenges. But then Coyotes really kind of put the pressure on the Sharks, but the Sharks were able to get 2 goals to kind of put it away, and then a third goal to make it 7-2. So, but shot attempts 56-27 in favor of the Coyotes. This is it. Little under 45 minutes of 5-on-5 time. Actual shots were 29-19 at 5-on-5. Scoring chances 21-17 in favor of the Coyotes. High danger chances 7-6 in favor of the Coyotes. Expected goals for 2.47 to 1.53. But for the Coyotes, 1.47 of that came in the third period. So the Sharks kind of did a good job of keeping this Coyotes team locked down for the most part. And then the third period, like I said, the Coyotes were trying to play catch-up mode, so you can kind of do what you want with some of the numbers here, especially when you're down 4-1 in the third period. And then at one point, it was 7-1. So the game was well in hand for the Sharks at that point. As for the lines, so we had Gushin, Hertl, Jacob Peterson. Then we had Zetterlund, Couture, Bordelot, Jeffrey Viel, Stephen Lawrence, Kyle Criscolo. Then Gregor, Sturm, LeBanc. We'll start with the Viel, Lawrence, Criscolo line played the most at 5-on-5. Again, you have 7 power plays, so those top guys are going to be off. And so the numbers are going to be a little funky here. Those guys played 10 minutes time of 5-on-5. Had 4 shots, gave up 16. Had a goal, gave up a goal. Actual shots was 4-9. Expected goals for was 0.46. Expected goals allowed was 0.76. 4-7 on the scoring chances. 3-2 high danger chances in favor of that line. 3-7-4 for your zone starts. Fabian Zetterlund, Logan Couture, Thomas Bordelot played 9:27. Again, 4-16, the same shot attempts. Actual shots was 3-5. No goals, 0.18 expected goals, 4.59 expected goals allowed. 3 scoring chances, gave up 6. 1 high danger, gave up 3. Gushin, Hertl, Peterson, 8:19 time on ice, 5 shots, 4-5 allowed. 3-2 actual shots, 0.18 to 0.09 expected goals for. So good job defensively, kind of shutting things down. For that, they gave up a couple shots, but they were very, very low danger. And then Gregor, Sturm, LeBanc, 7:31, 7 shot attempts, 4, gave up 10, 6-8 shot actual shots, 3 goals for. Thank you, Mr. Gregor. So 0.27 expected goals for, 0.55. So they actually only should have had 0.27, but they scored 3. Noah Gregor, have yourself a night. So 4 scoring chances, 4 allowed, and then no high danger, but gave up 2 as well. So they did a lot of their damage on the rush. So yeah, with mostly defensive zone starts. So as for one, Capo Kakinen, pretty solid night for him. So 31 shot attempts, had 29 saves, gave up 2 goals. Expected goals against was 2.98. 6 high danger, gave up 5. That one, there was a lot of pushing and shoving. Even that second goal, I know it was the guy's first NHL goal, so they're going to kind of more likely to give it to him. But I thought he might have iced it. It might have been a little bit late whistle, but anyway, whatever. It was 7-2. It doesn't matter. So mid-danger shots, 7-6. Gave up 1 goal there. And then 17 low-danger shots, 17 low-danger saves. So the Sharks did a good job of kind of keeping it on the outside and making Capo Kakinen's night pretty easy. Also helps when you have 7 power plays. Very, very poor night from penalty wise, at least for Arizona. So before we continue, we're going to talk about the CUDA, kind of the last gasp of the Barracuda. Why this poor team is just, there's not much left for them right now. So before we do that, do want to take a quick break, talk to you guys about our friends over at Athletic Greens. Today's episode is brought to you guys by AG1 by Athletic Greens. Keeping up with proper nutrition is really hard. You're busy, you're stuck at your desk, you're eating whatever you can just to get through your day. But what if you can start your day with the ultimate daily nutritional assurance? With a single scoop of AG1 in a glass of water, you can do just that. Absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. Athletic Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues and ended up with a complicated supplement routine to recover. It cost him about $100 a day, which just isn't sustainable. He created Athletic Greens after experiencing how difficult it was to create optimal nutrition routine on your own, all for just around $3 a day. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL-network. Again, this is athleticgreens.com/NHL-network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, RIP to San Jose Barracuda and their playoff hopes. Right, as of, again, Sunday afternoon as I'm recording this, they are currently 6 points behind the Tucson Roadrunners. The Roadrunners have 5 games to play. The Barracuda have 6, and I know the end of the season, last 2 games are against Tucson, so that is you have to sweep that and hope Tucson kind of starts to fall on their face here. But this poor Barracuda team they've just run out of gas because of all the call-ups and injuries, right? They won Friday night's game, 2-1 overtime win. Tristen Robins, short-handed goal. Derek Pouliot wins in overtime. Robins is gonna play some NHL games here soon. So he's been really, really strong down the stretch here. But they had to ice 8 forwards and 8 defensemen and play some of these defensemen on the forwards because they're just running out of bodies, right? Eklund's done for the season. CJ South ceases out. Chris Colo's up. Daniel Gushin's up. Like, you're just running. Bordelo's up. Like, you're just running out of bodies to try to score goals. At the beginning of the season, the blue line was a mess, right? And they had a bunch of injuries along the blue line. Now the blue line's healthy. You've got some blue line reinforcements. Pouliot being back, Cicek down, like Mukumadula in. Like, you finally got some reinforcements. But now it's the forward department, and that's just what happens when when the Sharks organization just isn't a deep organization right now. So, and again, the Sharks are going to get priority over the Barracuda. Like, the Sharks aren't going to run out 8 defensemen like in an NHL game, right? They're going to. It's more important for that team, and I know they wanted the Barracuda to try to make the playoffs. It's just they're just running out of gas at this point, and Tristen Robins can only do so much, and Ozzy Weisswatts and your Brandon Coes and your Andrew Agazinos, those guys can only do so much right now. Jeffrey Viel, another guy who's up on the Sharks right now. So, I mean, you basically have 2 lines that you've ripped out of the forward lines that you've ripped out of the Barracuda and put on the Sharks right now. It's tough, and I think this Barracuda team's gonna be a lot better next year, especially year 2 of Ozzy, year 2 of Brandon Coe, year 2 of Tristen Robins. Like, all those guys will be starting the team. I expect Gushin to probably start in the Barracuda next year as well. The only 2 ones are Bordelot and Eklund are the guys who I expect to be on the Sharks to start next year. But even Bordelot may start in the Barracuda and then work his way up. Maybe be an early season call up, but this Barracuda team is going to be a lot better next year. So interesting to see how they do with the goalies. They've been running Aaron Dell out there, and like, he'll have a great first game. And I don't know if they just don't trust Strauss-Mann or they just want to they're trying to win these games. But Aaron Dell, like, I think it's just tough to continually ask Aaron Dell to start 2 games in a row on a back-to-back. How often has he been pulled? Strauss-Mann relieved him on Saturday night, and I know Strauss-Mann didn't have a good game after coming in, but it's tough for both parties, right? Asking Aaron Dell to come in and play back-to-backs, and then asking Strauss-Mann to come in cold and to try to come in and come in and start or come in and play after that. I think it's just tough for both. So, I don't expect Eetu Makiniemi back, especially this late in the season with 6 games to go. It's probably just going to be the Dell man show to end the season. But I would like to see Strauss-Mann, at least get half the starts here as you're heading down because you're going to have to make a decision on to re-sign Strauss-Mann if you want to continue to develop, continue with this development. You got to let him play some big games down here at the end of the season and see if there's something to work with here. So, it's tough season for it's just for this Barracuda that could never really kind of get things rolling. It was very much a seesaw. We're gonna win one or win a couple and then lose a couple, or win one, lose one, win one. Like they just couldn't get string together good games, and it's disappointing at this time of the year where just some of these guys are just running out of bodies at some point for this poor Barracuda team. So they play Monday against Coachella, and then like I said, they've got 2 games against Tucson. That's going to be the last gasp right there at the end of the season. If they can remain within striking distance and then sweep that might be their chance to get in to the playoffs. And then the Shark season will be done. All these Barracuda guys can kind of come back and play some Barracuda playoff hockey. So yeah, keep an eye on the Barracuda. It's on life support right now. So that's going to be it for me. Be back tomorrow with another draft profile. Halfball Hockey joins to do Lucas Dragicevic. We both couldn't figure it out. Anyway, defenseman, WHL defenseman, very, very, very intriguing defensive prospects. So make sure you guys check that out. You can follow, of course, me on Twitter at MyFryhole. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You guys follow for free wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. That way you know when the latest episodes are out. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.